All right, cool. All right, everybody. So we are here for a masterclass on purpose, and I'm really happy to be here because this is a normal call. Was anybody here on the call yesterday? Raise your hand if you were. Did anybody come to the call yesterday? There wasn't a replay set out. Homie, that was the weirdest fucking call I have ever been on in my life. I felt weird all day yesterday. And now I really see the purpose of it. I'm like, wow, this is a really good example of, but I've never felt so fucking dried up in my life as I did after that call yesterday. So I'm very happy to be here in full bloom today. Anybody that was on the accountability call with Magic on Monday, I showed up for my first day of workouts today, had some workout epiphanies. Ladies, if you have a numb pussy for whatever reason, if it feels like when you're having sex that you're just being like penetrated into a hole and like all of the action comes from clit stimulation, if you have sexual trauma, if you have low libido, homie, I fucking got you. Like, I fucking got you. I have figured this out. But you know what? You know how it's like, I feel like these hoes are all lying when they're like, I had 122 orgasms. They were lying. Those aren't orgasms. Basically, they felt good 122 times in a 1 hour sex session. So that's cool. Like, if I know that, that's fine. But fucking be real with me. If you've redefined what an orgasm is, fucking let me in on it. Let me in. Don't make me go behind a $1,500 paywall so you can tell me, oh, well, actually, we just call those orgasms now. It's like when those fuckers are like, oh, it's orgasmic birth. No, you just said that at like 3 months after giving birth. Like, in hindsight, it was actually really intense. Well, let me know when you're fucking in it next time. You know, like, I feel like we can't just change the definition of these things without letting us know about it. I'm going to think there's something wrong with me because I'm like, homie, like, I understand that you're clocking in 122 orgasms. You didn't tell me your husband pounding you out for 3 hours without the TV on. You didn't tell me that these orgasms are not actually, this is like this new definition of like orgasm that I wasn't let in on. So I'm really happy that I know about that now, because it was like, I also feel so good to be able to talk about this normally. I swear to God, I felt like I was wilting yesterday. Um, but it was like, you know, all of the Hollywood sex scenes never show women fingering themselves, never show women stimulating themselves, never even show women on top. So I was watching fucking every episode of Sex in the City. In all of Sex in the City, there's no scenes where the woman's on top, maybe like one or two. But I'm there, getting mediocre sex for 3 minutes in missionary position, wondering what's wrong with me when mine doesn't work like in the movies. And I'm like, are we doing the same thing in these like awakened sex schools now, where it's like, oh no, that was an orgasm. Like, I feel like an orgasm doesn't leave you saying, was that an orgasm? So if that's the deal, you got to let me know. Otherwise, I'm there expecting, it's like, you guys are the same people that say fucking a sneeze is a tenth of an orgasm. Okay. You've never had allergies and you've never fucking come before, is what you're telling me here. You fucked up. And now I'm coming for the squirters too. I gotta be real with you. I'm coming. Are you peeing? Are you peeing? Am I gonna fucking have to find one of these hoes if I get a urine sample? Because if y'all are peeing, then all of the hoes that are feeling bad about peeing a little bit when they sneeze because their pelvic floor isn't strong enough, I got you too, But I feel like we just need the language, because the language is always changing. And one of my trans friends, I love him so much, but I put up a question sticker. Saying sex, should you schedule sex? Should you schedule sex so that you have it when you don't want it? 50% of America says yes. They also said that you should feed yourself on a schedule, even if you don't want food. I said, this explains the obesity problem. And also that you should schedule a poop, even if you don't have to poop. Well, this explains why all of our fucking men take 45-minute shits on the clock, because it's poop time. you know? And I watched the Yogi Bhajan documentary, and he actually said something really funny. He goes, I forget the word he uses for poop, but he's like, if it doesn't fire out like a cannon, you are depressed 5 days. Homie, I feel that. I got to tell this to the men that are sitting around because it's poop time on the clock and are taking, because that's not even good for your fucking butthole. And if they pushed out kids, they would know that, but they don't. So 50% of people said, yeah, you should schedule it. But it's like for people that have had sexual trauma, and I was on this call yesterday and I asked the lady, like, yo, have you ever had bad sex though? Because I understand you're like, the fucking prophetess of the pussy awakening and yada, yada, yada. But have you ever had bad sex? Do you know what it's like to have no libido? Do you know? And it's like, no, I've always had good sex. Well, let me fucking tell you something on behalf of the people that haven't had good sex. Forcing yourself to have sex when you don't want to sure feels a lot like being abused. So maybe you can take this, you gotta fuck every day or there's something wrong with you, and shove it up your fucking ass. Personally, I think it's pretty fucking unfair. So that's how I feel about it. And I just want to let you know that it's okay. The same way that people used to say, if you're not doing a 12-step program, you can't be sober. Well, I've been sober for 7 years without a 12-step program. And people say, oh, you can't have a healthy relationship unless you set a timer and fuck for 30 minutes every day. Well, you know what? I have a husband and you don't. So fuck you. Wow, I guess I really need to share about. But you know what? This is a workshop on finding your purpose and on finding your purpose over and over again. Because let me tell you, the mission chooses you. I grew up in a doomsday sex cult with unwanted sex happening all around me, all over the place in the name of God. So I really never thought that I would be 37 years old and teaching people about the fact that there is a spiritual connection to sexuality, because could not be two more things I was more against. Sex, nah. And God, nah. And now here I am teaching you that the way to heal sexual trauma is actually through those doors. And you don't have to fuck every day for 30 minutes to do it. So the mission chooses you. And whether you are brand new to finding your mission, or you found it and now it's kind of stagnating for you, and now it feels a little bit clunky, you didn't come here to retire at 40. You didn't come here to retire. You didn't come here to join a rat race that you could, look at the window and hope to escape it. You came here to find your purpose, which is the thing that you do that lights you up, that gets you out of bed in the morning, that gets you charged up about all of the hard work that it's going to take. Is it going to take a lot of hard work? Yes, absolutely. But when you wake up fucking stoked to do it, because your life has meaning, this is when you're doing the thing that you came here to do. And truthfully, like in a perfect world, our parents would have spent the first, 7 years of our lives observing us and remembering the things we did that lit us up. Ideally, our parents would have been there and been like, since you were really young, you were into this. Since you were really young, you were good at this. And whether you were good at it or not, if you were passionate about it, we encouraged you to do it more, no matter what it was. Ideally, our parents would have had us in this system, but the Rockefellers created a system for everyone else's kids except for theirs. And we're like, let's put them in school and make them factory workers and insist that they have to be good at everything. And then of all of these things that they don't like, they'll be really accustomed to hating learning new things and, being graded for how well they tolerate things that they don't like. Please let me speak this clearly. We'll just make sure that they have to be good at a little bit of everything, so then they can do any shitty job that we hand their way. And, 3 generations in, their parents will have had jobs they didn't like, so they can tell their children this is just how it is. And we'll just continue this cycle down. And so now there's a lot of people that have been through a whole round of school and a whole round of college and are deeply in debt and still have no idea what it is that they're here to do. And unfortunately, a lot of people started in the school system when they were really young. So if you asked your parents, hey, what was I really passionate about when I was younger? They're like, oh, you only wanted to watch TV. Well, after working an 8-hour shift at school, yeah, that's all you wanted to do. Oh, you really liked being outside, but I wasn't there with you, so I couldn't tell what you were interested in. Couldn't tell if it was geology, couldn't tell if it was biology, couldn't tell if it was foraging. You were just there. I didn't watch TV with you, so I didn't know what you were interested in. My daughter watches a lot of YouTube. You know what she does? She watches dance videos over and over and over again, learning the dances until she does them. And for her, it's not just about singing, and she's a wonderful singer. It's about being able to sing and dance at the same time doing the dance moves. So when she sings Let It Go from Frozen, she's not just singing the song, she's doing the same moves that Elsa does in Frozen. And it's really, really cute, especially because she has the lyrics a little bit different. So ideally, we would have started cultivating our purpose when we were really young, but for most of us, it didn't happen. And it didn't happen for me either. So I just want you to know that, like, I'm going to ask you some questions. And like I said, whether you're new to your purpose or true to your purpose, whether this is a brand new concept for you, or whether this is something that you're now looking to find the next level of, your answers might feel really stupid to you at first. So today we're going to be practicing on how to get answers from your heart as opposed to answers from your head. Regardless of what authority you are in human design, this is going to work for you. But it might feel like they're stupid. Now, look, also, when you find your purpose, you're finding your responsibility for life. So you can expect it to feel like it's a really long way away. And that's the point. In a way, it's a lot harder to re-find or rediscover your purpose when you've already achieved something substantial. This happens a lot when people are self-made, when they've come from nothing. They achieve something big and they go, oh my God, what now? I was only allowed to get lucky once in my life. It's almost like somebody that had won the lottery wouldn't expect to win it again because, you know, how lucky can one person get? Yet there's people that win lotteries multiple times, you know, go figure. There's people that had an orgasm without ever trying the first time. So some people are just built that way. But something I've learned, especially as somebody that teaches actual techniques for being able to recover from sexual trauma, it's learning how to appreciate the work that's laid out ahead of you, because you're like, at least there's something I can do. At least there's something that I can do. You can be really tempted to sit around going, it's not fair. You know, it's not fair that I have to work so much harder than regular people. It's not fair. When you're ready to stop complaining that it's not fair, because it does feel good for a while, because then you don't have to do anything. You can just say, it's not fair. Why should I have to try and beat a rigged game? The second you're ready to get over that and accept that there's a lot of work for you to do, then you can start seeing progress. Yeah, you're going to have to work way harder at it, but that's okay. Do you want to work way harder and actually get something done, or do you want to complain? So you have to make that choice. It's definitely easier and more comfortable to complain. So who here, now I'm just going to go to my gallery view so that I want to know the faces of who I'm speaking to when we talk about stuff like this. So I would like you to raise your hand, virtual or otherwise, if you know what you're here to do and are doing it. All right, cool. Now, if you don't know what you're here to do, if you feel like your current job is not bringing you to life, your current occupation, yeah, that sweater is bringing me to life though. If you feel like your current occupation is not bringing you to life, that you're not on your purpose, that you're not really sure if what you're doing is what you're here to do. Okay, cool. So we've got about 50-50 here in the crowd. And I'm really happy. I was telling my husband, because so many people were asking, you know, after ritual, we're still like, you know, I just still kind of don't really know what it is that I'm here to do. And I was telling Magic, you know, it's okay that we're not a purpose finding school. Technically, we're an advanced school. So we're teaching business concepts and we're teaching advanced spirituality, which goes hand in hand. Like all mesoteric teachings begin at the level of good householder, meaning to have the proper absorption of these spiritual teachings. Wheels Reinvented is not one of those. You could do that at any stage. But to have the proper absorption of advanced spiritual teachings, you would want to have your business set up in a way that you kind of don't even have to think about it, and the money can just roll in, so you can really focus on creativity as an expression of consciousness, so you can really focus on tackling that deeper, more life-changing work. But I was telling my husband, I was going to shirk this responsibility and be like, look, technically we shouldn't have to be a purpose finding school. Like, it's fine. People can find their purpose elsewhere. But I just remember how long it took me. I was 27 years old when no, not 27, I'm sorry. I graduated from integrative nutrition in 2013. I was born in 1987. So I think that makes me 25, 24, turning 25 when somebody asked me for the first time, what do I want? Like, what do I want? And it changed my life. Like it seriously changed my entire life. And at the time, the only thing that I could think of when I closed my eyes and I learned how to listen to my heart for the first time, all I could see was camping, being out in nature and looking up at the stars. And the only thing I could answer was to a crowd of people, wearing my little Forever 21 jumpsuit because I really wanted to look. I'm like, I'm a professional now. I'm going to be a health coach. I got to look like a health coach. So I started wearing a lot of prints. I felt so stupid. I felt more stupid answering that than I did dancing to Pharrell a half an hour earlier. It was a group convention. Weird shit happens. Dancing to Happy by Pharrell when you're goth might happen in a paisley jumpsuit. Things, shit gets weird. But I felt so stupid saying at a business conference, I just want to go camping. But when I went home and I told my fiance, I was engaged to Capricorn at the time, funniest guy ever, really showed me a lot about how funny dry humor is. But I told him, I want to go camping. And he laughed and rolled his eyes at me. He was laughing so hard. And when he finally regained his composure, he said, if you want to sleep in the dirt on your day off, you can do it by yourself. And I said, okay. And it's a funny thing. I don't even like camping. It's true. I kind of have the same philosophy about it. If you want to sleep in the dirt on your day off, you can do it by yourself. If you want to cook without your spice cupboard, you can do it by yourself. My husband takes the kids camping, or at least he talks about it, but it's not really for me so far. But that little hint of a vision was enough to make me realize that I would never be able to go camping with that guy. And it was the first step to me realizing that that guy was actually really wrong for me in a lot of ways. And at that same conference, the same guy asked me, what do you love about him? And I said, I love that I could go crazy and he wouldn't leave me, because he went so crazy on me almost every single night and I didn't leave him. And it took me a while to realize that I don't treat people the way that he treated me. So this wasn't really useful anymore. But your answer to this first question that we work through might seem really stupid to you. And I'm telling you from the bottom of my heart, it's enough. Whatever it is, it's enough. Take a step towards that and see what happens. Because where I am now doing this exercise again, it felt stupid to me. But when I say, look, I'm not going to dismiss this and I'm going to say what needs to be rearranged in my life to make something like this happen, then the path starts to become clear.
A lot of you guys have asked, so I definitely didn't make this clear enough. So wanting to go camping wasn't my purpose for life, but it was the next right step that I needed to take, because I was engaged to marry somebody that was totally wrong for me, and my stubbornness would have stayed in that relationship for way too long if I hadn't realized that he was not what I wanted at all. So as I started to organize my life so that I could be someone that could go camping, even though I didn't have a car and I didn't drive, that turned into wanting to live in nature, which turned into wanting to have a business that was location independent, which turned into me starting and really refining my own business and taking it seriously, deciding that health coaching and yoga wasn't just going to be a hobby, but I was going to turn it into something real. And the next right steps consistently arrived until I got here. So trust in what you get and start moving towards it.
So we all ready for the first question? Cool. Before I ask it, I'm going to teach you how to listen to your heart and how to differentiate what the voice of your head sounds like versus the voice of your heart. This is going to be so useful for you with your clients. This is going to be so useful with you for yourself. And there are so many questions that are going to come up for you in your life that no one could or should answer for you. Questions like, should you be with this person or not? This is not a question for a psychic. This is not a question for me. People DM me multiple times asking if they should get an abortion or not. I said, homie, you are DMing a stranger asking if you should get an abortion or not. You're the only one who can make this choice. You're the only person who can make this decision. Deciding to move or not, deciding to quit your job or not. All of these transitions, by the way, breakups, moving, quitting your job, the appropriate reaction to all of these sudden changes is grief. Grief is the natural response. It's a natural response of conflicting emotions that occur after a great change. Grief is not being sad after somebody dies. Grief is that would be feeling one way consistently after death or extreme loss. That's not what grief is. Grief is conflicting emotions. I feel so happy and free. I feel so angry and alone. I miss you. I hate you. I love you. I can't stand you. That's what grief is, conflicting emotions that make you feel crazy, that make you feel like you're not steady, that make you feel like someone else should make this call for you. And let me tell you guys, because we are heavy in a cult era right now, cults always occur after a great change. So, pandemic, great change, people saying, I don't know how I feel. I'm not aware that I'm sad. And the cult leaders of the world say, I know what's going on. I'm not shaky. I can tell you exactly what's happening. You have the potential to be a part of our master race. And you're like, oh. So in the cult, when you are grieving and somebody seems to be not shaky, any psychic will tell you this is going to be exactly what it is. I know 10 toes down exactly what I'm talking about here. You'll look for somebody that has that authority to make the type of choices that nobody should ever make for you. But regardless of the choice you make and how your heart responds, when you make these big life calls, when you make these big life changes, feeling grief is appropriate. Please nod your head if that makes sense to you. Feeling grief will be appropriate no matter what the call is. Now, does grief mean that you're going to be feeling sad in bed? Definitely, without a doubt. No. Grief means you're going to be riding a high and then you're going to be feeling a low, and that you'll be feeling super solid about it and then super confused about it. And you're going to want to talk about it to gain clarity. Yes, that's correct. That's correct. Come to Safehouse, go to feelings room, take it up with your journal, talk it up to anybody that's not going to expect you to be consistent during a grieving time of your life. Anywhere you can go where you can talk without it being held against you. Anonymous on Reddit, journal, but anywhere where you can, or you know what? Put your headphones in and walk down the street talking to yourself to get that clarity. People will think that you're on the phone with a really good friend. In a way, you are. Talk it out with anybody that's not going to hold it against you, that's not going to say, well, you said yesterday that this was going to be how you felt, and now today you're saying something different. You seem a little shaky to me. It is appropriate to feel grief. So if you make a step towards this purpose and the next day you're going, oh, what did I do? And you're feeling high highs and low lows, you're grieving. And the key is to talk it out. Make sense? Okay. Because this was actually really scary for me. So I'm hoping I can save you. So I'm hoping I can save you some time on that. So how the head speaks versus how the heart speaks. How ego talks versus intuition. Now, I'm not saying that your head is ego, and I'm not a really crazy fan. The word ego is very like exoteric. And I know because my first book is riddled with it. And every time I have to say it out, it's very hard being a mesoteric teacher and reading the audiobook for my exoteric book because I really badly want to make it up to date, but that's not the function of that book. That function is to meet the beginner student where they were, or where they are. But in magic and second level teachings, everything is useful. So the head makes pros and cons. The head, and that's the point. The head is like a Google. It could just go on and on and on and on. It could talk about it, this versus that, and it's never done. And it talks in words. It talks in words. So even if you have, what do they call aphantasia, where you don't see in pictures, you see in words. The heart will still speak to you in pictures, but you might describe it as words. So for example, how you would differentiate this is that the head will say, well, this reason versus that reason. This reason versus that reason. It's a pros and cons list. The heart is just a picture. So it can seem like out of pocket, it can seem like, oh, what, and the words might come up on your internal teleprompter. I'm walking down a hallway surrounded by assistants conducting business at a high level. But it's going to seem, it's not, it just is. It's not, well, if I did this, this could happen. And if I did that, that could happen. So the head will kind of never stop arguing with itself. And that's really what it's here to do. It's the logic machine. And this is why meditation, if you believe that the point of meditation is to quiet the mind, you'll have a really hard time. The same way that if you think 122 orgasms are, to be compared with clitoral orgasms, you're going to be like, what's wrong? And there's nothing more torturous than chasing your tail in that way. I spent 10 years meditating, trying to get my mind to be quiet until finally someone told me, yeah, it's not the job of the mind to be quiet. You're just meant to observe it. You're just meant to observe it kind of like an irate person screaming on the subway where you're like, oh, really cool. Yeah, totally. I agree with you. Reptilians. Uh-huh. Okay, I'm gonna put my headphones in now. And meditation is the art of putting the headphones in. Meditation is not the art of getting the homeless man to be quiet. It's the job of saying, I understand that you're there. I understand that you're making noise. I resonate with some of the things that you're saying. You keep doing you. I'm going to put my headphones in now and just stop listening with pleasure. I'm not mad at you. I don't wish the world was rid of you. I don't wish you would go away. I actually even find you quite entertaining on mute. This is making my commute really interesting, but I'm over here now. That's what meditation is. And I could have saved a lot of time if I knew what it was that I was meant to be doing. So head talks in words, heart talks in pictures. Even if you're very connected to this new diagnosis of aphantasia, it's still going to speak in pictures for you. It's going to show you like a vignette, like a scene from something, and just go with it. And this is really good practice, especially as we get ready to do Wheels Reinvented in April, is the heart responds instantly, but you're super used to dismissing it. Why? Because it speaks quieter. Imagine that you have a family, but who here is watching White Lotus? Oh man, you guys, for your awakening, you must. In White Lotus, we have Victoria Parker Posey. We have the hot dad, hot to me. We have Patrick Schwarzenegger. We have the pretty girl whose name I don't know. And then we have the younger brother, Lachlan. We have all of these big personalities in the family. The lorazepam mom, the volatile dad, the sex pest older brother, the rattled middle sister, and then the younger brother whose voice hardly hears. He speaks so quiet. He seems so complicit, just kind of going along with things. This is really like the voice of your heart. It's very quiet. It's very quiet. And it's very easy for you to say, oh, if you're not loud, you don't matter. So speak up or you're not going to get to do any of the driving here. The heart speaks very softly, very quietly. And that's why it's important. Cultivating your intuition is learning how to listen to the quieter voice. Because you say, oh, wouldn't my intuition be that gut screaming thing that's telling me, oh my God, you're having a brain aneurysm and you're pregnant at the same time? Because it's loudest. That's my intuition, right? It's kicking me in the head. That's got to be my intuition giving me a jolt, right? No, that's your mind, and that's okay. Your heart's really quietly in the background being like, you've had too much coffee. And you're like, certainly this couldn't be it. No ways. No ways. And the heart's like, you're good. Maybe go outside. You're like, I couldn't possibly listen to this advice. It's too simple. So building your intuition looks like listening to the quieter voice. I got to write down Lachlan on my notes here so I can remember to make a reel about how Lachlan represents the heart. Here's a White Lotus theory for you guys. The White Lotus theories are super cool. This is my favorite show right now. And I'm so happy that Parker Posey is having a return. Buddhism. So To get into our first question, who's ready? Let's find ourselves a comfortable seat. The first question seems innocuous enough, right? The best is how your baby sleeps on you. I know. My baby likes the sound of my loud teaching voice. When I try and get her in a calm place and sing Guru Ram Das or something mellow to put her to sleep, she hates it. But when I'm talking really like loud and authoritatively, she's like, and that's probably what she heard in the womb the whole time, because I've been lecturing you all pregnancy long and labor and birth, everything. And it was probably just amplified by the by the noise. So the mission chooses you. All right. So first question, let's get comfortable. And the first question is going to be, what do you want? But we're not going to start answering it right now. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to sit tall. And I want you to, first of all, I want you to imagine with your mind up here, touch the middle of your forehead. I want you to imagine that you are waiting for a friend or a date at a coffee shop or a bar, whatever is resonant to you, and you're waiting for them, you're early. And every time the door opens, you're like kind of jolted. Oh, is that them? And you're in this, you're waiting for them to arrive. So you're always kind of jumping and jolting with every door. Is that them? Is that them? Is that them? Is my answer here yet? Am I awakened yet? Am I meditating yet? And I just want you to shake out your wrists, or you can tap your third eye a couple times just to kind of wipe that out. And now I want you to imagine that you're sitting by a beautiful creek in a beautiful location. And the creek is loud. It's making it sound, and you're just watching one spot in the creek. You're watching the same water bounce over the same rock. Same water bouncing over the same rock. You're not expecting anything to change. You're not expecting a dolphin to jump out of the creek. You're not waiting for anything to arrive. You're just watching. So now tap your third eye again. Open your eyes. This is the difference between relaxing into something and letting the vision come to you versus going looking for it. We want something to be revealed to us. So we're going immediately into that relaxed state where we're not, ooh, I got to find this, or there's going to be something wrong with me and I'm never going to live happily my whole entire life. To just chill. The answer is there. It's just going to be revealed to us. Okay. So let's come back to our comfortable seat. And we're going to close our eyes, and we're instantly going to go into that state of watching the water bubbling over the rock. Nothing crazy is happening. Relax your shoulders. Relax your personality. And now I want you to touch your finger to your third eye. And I want you to draw a line with your finger down your nose and down your lips and down your chin and down your throat and down your sternum, and come to rest right over your energetic heart. So this is the space in between where my boobs used to be. There's a space in the middle, and give yourself a little tap on your sternum. This is the energetic heart. With your eyes closed, I want you to feel the space behind your fingers, within your body, behind your fingers. So on the other side of the wall of your sternum is a beautiful open cavity, and I want you to feel that space. And breathe into that space and feel how much space there is from right behind your fingertips to all the way back where your spine is. We got a big space here. And inside of this big space, I want you to imagine it like a whole galaxy. A galaxy with stars and planets and life and vibrance and workings and cells and shooting stars. All this space, and take a deep breath into that space and let it out. Now, as the queen, as the royalty, as the ruler of all of this space. Right in the middle is our heart. And I want you to see your heart as if it's a planet in this space. See your heart, your own heart. And this could be, you could see it in an organ type sense. You could see it as a green planet. You could see it as any kind of being. You could see it as an anatomical heart or as an energetic heart. But see your heart in this space with all of this other life and all of this other space revolving around it. See this heart like its own pulsating home of energy that has been here with you from the beginning and will be here with you till the end to make sure that you do your purpose here on earth. So looking at this heart and looking at this planet, I want to prep you a little bit for what it is that you can expect to receive. You're going to ask this question and a picture is going to come up. Dive into the picture. If it's words describing the picture, act like you want to read the next page as soon as possible. Zoom out as quickly as you can. But look at your heart at this planet and as this planet and say to your heart, I will receive the message that you give. You can say it out loud or you can say it quietly. I will receive the message that you give. I will take good care of the message that you give to me. I won't throw it away. And from this place of connection, I'm going to have you now flatten your hand against your chest. Full connection. Confident. A hand as confident as you are if you're wiping your own butt. You know where you're going. You know what you're doing. You're not strange about it. Flatten your hand onto your heart. Promise one more time. I promise to receive the message that you give. Breathe into your hand and ask this question. What do I want? What do I want? And calmly, with your inner eye open, watch for the movie, no matter how strange it seems. What do I want? Now, this doesn't take very long, but whatever it is that you're seeing, you're seeing something. Pull on the thread. Let more of it come. What else do you see in the surroundings? Who else or what else is there? Nothing matters. It doesn't matter how old you are. There are no numbers in this space. Is there anything else that you see? It just takes a minute. Now rub your hand over your heart and say thank you with your hand. Say thank you with your mind. Say thank you to this heart. Say thank you with your being. And come back up to the surface. Immediately get your typing hands ready wherever you are and articulate what it is that you've seen here in the chat. Immediately try to find words for it. This is key. This is storing the abstract, storing the abstract into a place where you can start to chew on it. Pink flowers, new life laying on a blanket, life grows around me. Try to, so wonderful. When I do this, and I'll give you guys an example so that you have something to compare it to. When I did this the other day in the sauna, I saw myself walking business style down a hallway. I'm behind, like in an auditorium. I'm walking. I have two assistants. I'm yappity yap yapping. We're going to do this, and I'm getting ready to go out on stage. This is an inconvenient vision for me because it fits nowhere with my mom life. Right now, I'm raising my kids. But when I see this vision and I say, what do I want? And I look at it, I want a career still. I want to have a full-blown career that's not just shared with my kids. I want to be able to do the career things that I can't do right now. I want to be able to wear heels. I want to be able to wear outfits. I want to be able to go on tour. I want to be able to speak in auditoriums to thousands and thousands of people. This is not a possibility for me in my life right now because I'm raising kids, but I want my career to pop off when I'm 50. I want to have a full-blown career when I'm 50. When this baby in my arms is 13 years old, I want to still be relevant. I want to be better than ever. I want to be more inspiring than ever. I want to be packing out auditoriums 13 years from now, 23 years into my career. I still want to be relevant. I still want to be a teacher. I want to be able to do it in a whole new way. So what starts off as being this kind of abstract, unimpressive looking little vision that I say, you know what, I should really just throw this vision away because it doesn't fit with my life right now. I explore it. What is this vision telling me I want? I want an uninterrupted career. So let's look at some of y'all's answers. We'll go back and forth from the different rooms that we're in right now. I was in a green meadow, surrounded by a lot of women. I was helping them heal, and they were healing me. We are a community. Wow, beautiful. I saw bright lights in an auditorium and a microphone. I saw a big house, a helicopter pad with my house in the woods so I can take off to events whenever I need. Just a beach scene, white sands and clear water waves. I do not see myself just the scene. I need to see you feel safe, relaxed, at ease in a vacation. How does this apply to business? All right. So here is where we try, and here's where we add to what we've been shown. This is where we're taking responsibility for what we've been shown. So if you have a helicopter pad, you got to be pretty fucking rich, right? And if you're going to speak at places, you better be pretty fucking popular, right? When we add on to this, because your heart can keep going. So if I ask you right now, when you're speaking at places, are you speaking at a local bookstore to 5 people? Or are you speaking in a sports arena to thousands of people? If you are at the beach, relaxing on vacation, is this the first time you've ever been to the beach? Or is this a place that you retreat to regularly? And if you retreat to it regularly, why? Is it because you get your best creative ideas here and your life is pretty busy otherwise? So you really need to learn how to sacred unplug and go and take space because your best book ideas come to you when you're gazing out at the infinite horizon. Ask yourself, how often am I at this beach? Is this a beach that I'm familiar with, or is it one that I am at for a first time? Do I travel consistently because the adventure is good for my creative juices, or is this my home away from home? Shining tables and studio space, a golden egg cocoon. Okay, so I'm going to take somebody off of mute if I can. I'm going to go, in order for you to be off of mute, I need you to please have your physical hand raised so I'm ready to talk to you. Okay, cool. Well, Maya with the sweater, I love the move. I asked you to unmute. So you tell me, what was the vision that you saw?
Thank you. Hi.
Hi.
So the vision, so I live in London in the UK. So it took me like to the Buckingham Palace where I saw like the guards, and it kind of shook me up to the sky. So I saw the sun and then the blue sky, and it landed me into like a different area, which was nature, like a huge lake and down to a tree with flowers, and it was kind of like summery vibe. So I think because I want to move from London, that certainly has to do with that. But yeah, that's what I.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So not projecting onto you, but I had a similar when I had my camping vision, I was like, what does this have to do with anything here? So what are you currently doing for work?
I'm building my business. I'm actually doing fuckless with you at the moment.
Okay,
Um,
and what's
yeah.
currently paying your bills?
So I have a spiritual business. I hold ceremonial space. I'm a Kundalini alchemist and ceremony facilitatrix. So I hold space, ceremonial space for the people who feel called to work with me, where they can shed old layers of themselves. And now I'm building a business where I can translate the wisdom and the spiritual teaching into workshops. So it has like a deep embedded learning curve where they learn how to embody Shakti, basically.
Okay, wonderful. With increased time comes increased clarity, comes less words. The words become less meaningful and the transmission is given through an authority that can't be questioned.
Yeah.
Wonderful progression. So, what about your business is currently reliant on living in London?
Um, Well, I actually just got approved for some state support, which helps me with my rent and my bills. So I have a full space to only focus on my business, and it's the first time ever that I don't have a job, and I actually just get to rely on myself and build something. But at the same time, I also ideally do need to make money to complement that income, and I'm also looking to move abroad with my partner in September to Thailand. So there is a financial goal that I want to reach in terms of a stable business.
Yes, definitely. Now, when you think about moving to nature, from what you see in that nature, does it look like something you would see in Thailand? Does it look like something that you would see in what country or continent would this type of nature be found?
Yeah, that's interesting. So I feel like it's more like my home country in Hungary. I don't have the desire truly to move there, but I think the connection there is that I recognize it and it feels safe and home rather
Mhm.
than it being the place where I need to go.
Totally. So if I said, okay, we're packing up and we're going there, we're going to this nature tomorrow, please list to me the top 5 things where you say, I can't do that. I've got this, I've got this, I've got this, I've got this.
Um, well, I have the financial ties that I need to
I want you to imagine that I'm Delulu, not hard.
okay.
I want you to imagine that I'm Delulu and I'm like, come on, we're going. Let's go. Get in the car. Let's go right now. Get your stuff. And I'm literally pulling you and yanking you out. What when you're like, no, I can't.
Yeah.
Bomb, bomb,
I
bomb, bomb, bomb.
I haven't built my business yet. I
Mm-hmm.
need to make sure I can get my dogs with me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think those would be actually the two things.
Oh, so your boyfriend's like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, yeah, he's already on it.
Okay, great. And what about your money?
Well, that would be part of the business, really.
Well, your spiritual business is doing its thing, but you're getting government grants that you don't want to let go of.
No, I am happy to let go. This is why I want to set up the business. So when I move abroad, I can fully just rely on the business.
Okay, cool. So let's go just a little bit deeper into setting up the business because now this is where your responsibility lies. And this is where the running to-do list starts to happen, which is going to bring us into our next question, which is what's the truth of what's going on? So we'll get there in a second. How is the business not set up in a way where you could move to the country? What needs to be done?
Well, I need to launch and receive income.
Okay, so it needs to be profitable because to be in a place where to be location independent means you have to be fully financially independent. You have to
Right.
be able to not rely on other, and I know this because that's how I started. Well, my business was 2 years. It had been going for 2 years by the time I became a sole breadwinner living in remote New Mexico. But my husband couldn't get a job there. It's an intense thing. Financial responsibility is quite a thing, especially if there is no saving you. Even if my husband wanted to work, he couldn't. So I had to figure it out, or we'd fall behind on our mortgage. We wouldn't be able to buy groceries. Those were the conditions.
Yeah.
Um, so creating financial stability is quite an achievement. Now, this
Mm.
is what I mean though about like whether you're new to your purpose here or true to your purpose. I've been financially stable for so long. What now? It's really easy to get in that what now. So we did this whole thing, separating the difference between a reactive mind and a mind that's receiving, reactive versus receptive. We did that with the bar and the water. We traced our hand down our face. For anybody wearing a lot of makeup, I'm hoping there was at least one person who has a swipe of makeup missing down the middle. But we traced our finger down to the location of our energetic heart. We really visualized our heart and the space around it. We really respectfully came to our heart and asked a question, received an answer, and now we're integrating it. But with time, this is, what do I do? It's instant. It's less than a second. What do I do? Boom. And you get that answer. It doesn't take all of this pageantry that we went through. This was just the first time. But your heart can always give you an answer that fast. Doesn't mean you're going to like it. In fact, you probably won't. And then integrating, taking responsibility for what it is that you've been shown, logging it somewhere, building on it, making a post-it. Remember, but this is your sacred duty. This is how you're going from A to B. Now, when you get at B, you might find yourself in that place you always wanted to be, looking around saying, oh my God, what now? And we do it again. The answer is always there, and there's a big responsibility that comes with it. So the primary thing that's keeping you from being able to do what you want is creating stability in your business. Correct that fuckless is the right place to be. But I just put this down. I'm not saying this is you, and I'm not asking you a question on this. I'm just saying this to the audience. People get very excited about passive income without realizing that it's a second level wealth opportunity. To go directly into passive income, regardless of what industry you're in, you can't just go directly into passive income. You have to have neutral income first. You have to have active income first. Somebody asked me if this means that the Enneagram is like backwards, if it goes active before passive. No, passive income is the second turn of an Enneagram, not the first one. On the first one, it is at 0.6. If that language is like, what? Don't worry about it. We're on to a new topic now. But even if you wanted to have, so for example, if you wanted to have the type of passive income where you're like, I'm going to spend $10,000 on ads per month, and I'm going to make a $12,000 back. I'm going to have a $2,000 profit, and I'm going to go straight to passive income that way. That is not correct. You had the $10,000 of active income that you could pay first. How you got that is up to you. If you were doing real estate, you would need the startup capital. Now, with education, spiritual education, selling time in exchange for money, you don't have to put in the startup capital financially, but you do have to put in the startup capital with time. And that time is building your authority in the space. Building your authority in the space, becoming an expert on a topic through study and through sharing about what it is that you're learning. So I saw a lot of people getting really excited and wanting to crack right into a passive income. I'm going to go straight to passive income, but they haven't tried it with any people individually. They haven't tried it with a small group. They haven't tried the more expensive options to make sure that this works. And in venture capitalism, we call it like proof. I'm not a VC. But it would be called proof of concept. Like there has to be proof that this idea works. It has to be relevant. There has to be a market for it. You have to be able to prove that you're good at getting these results for people. So it can take, regardless of where you are in business, if making your business stable, if making the income stable is a priority for you, you need to accept that it's a road ahead, and the road happens in stages. The first thing is that you decide that you're going to do it. Please raise your hand if you've just recently decided that you're going to do it. I'm going to go to gallery view. Great. Stage one is deciding that you're going to do it. Stage two is building the audience, because before you can sell anyone anything, you need to build the audience, wherever that audience is. Is the audience at your yoga studio where you teach once a week? Fine. How can we bring these people onto a newsletter list? Is the audience online? Are you starting a new account? Okay, do that yesterday because it's going to take time. Let's do it. The next stage is getting comfortable teaching. And so that's just sharing consistently, talking about it. The next stage is getting paid for those teachings. And that's really just you trying to get on the phone with as many people as possible for as long as possible. You're putting down your pride of how much you think you should be making at this stage. And you're like, the most important thing that I can get right now is experience. I'm just going to get on the phone with as many people as possible. I'm going to get those testimonials. And after I've taken a nice handful of clients where I'm like, look, literally, whatever you want to talk about, let's do it. I won't direct it. You want to do a session? Let's get on the phone. However it is that you want to do it, I'm going to just do my best. The book, The Prosperous Coach, is a good resource for this phase of life because it'll teach you, you don't have to plan shit. No matter how much you plan out a session, somebody's going to come in and tell you something totally unexpected. It's learning how to listen as opposed to learning how to talk. After you've taken a good handful of clients, you start to see that a lot of people are coming to you with the same product problem, and that you're really good at getting them a result by asking them this question that maybe you've been asked before, maybe you wish someone would have asked you. And then it starts to congeal into a method. When people come to me with this problem, I give them this process and they get this result. Then it becomes passive income. Then you learn how to stabilize passive income through product launches and sales funnels, and then you're good to go. So that's how income goes from an idea in the spiritual or coaching or educational industry to stabilized income. How long can this take? Depends on how quickly you're willing to get on the phone with people. If you did 6 months of getting on the phone with people at a pace that was outside of your full-time job, after 6 months of getting on the phone with people, you would probably feel strong enough to make a course then. So it really just depends on how willing you are to kind of get out there and start doing it. So Maya, where are you? Where are you on this spectrum? Where are you currently at?
Yeah. So it's funny because like this week with this lunar eclipse and the full moon in Virgo, I got through a little bit of a shadow period where I actually had to let go of the idea of making what I envision like a passive course. And I'm gonna run Fuckless with an active group
Yeah.
program basically. And I'm like, okay, that actually feels really good. And it was like a little bit like, no, I always wanted a passive course, but I've gone through the process of give that up and know that this way I built something that is actually sustainable. And the second round, I know what I'm putting out there passively, and it can
Yeah.
truly flow.
And that's what it has to be. And Fuckless, so if anybody here is not familiar with Fuckless, if you're doing Fuckless Express, we can just build that neutral audience. We can just start getting out there and talking on social media and trying to get people to get on the phone with us. If you're not in Safehouse and you want to know about this, the 0 to 40K business strategy on YouTube. But we're just doing that over and over. And it gradually goes to passive. So it starts just one person at a time, then it becomes a small group, then it can become a passive income course. But it's not like, I'm just gotta be fucking real with you guys. I know it would feel so good to be like, yeah, I have passive income your first year in business. It's not gonna take. It's not gonna take. Not gonna work.
I mean,
So
there's so many ChatGPT online programs put out there already that didn't actually receive a soul and an actual intention and been proven that, the world doesn't need more of that.
are they even selling though? Like, are they even selling? And if they are selling, how much is an ad spend? Because yeah, like anybody, and you got to decide in business if you want to be someone that people get tricked into buying from one time. And after that, they go, I'm never fucking buying from this person again, ever. It's shit. And if you're just going to start business over business over business over business. And if that is what you want to do, I'm pretty sure a really good model for this, I'm pretty sure that anybody can relate, that you could translate someone's book into a different language, like a book that you like, you could translate that into a different language or record the audio book and make money off of that. Like if you really wanted to do something simple, but it was like, people are going to buy this thing from me one time and they won't buy from me again. But actually you could create a pretty good business translating other people's books if that was something that you were interested in doing, or making them audiobooks if that was something that you were interested in doing. But anybody can take a shitty product and a lot of ad spend and just fucking trawl this thing around the internet until enough people see it where they can buy it, and you can get that little bit of income, but you're going to be someone that people just buy from once, and your passive income is going to be coming from, that profit margin from ad spend. It's not going to be coming from organic interest. And when it comes to living on purpose, like there's some people that are like, dude, that's really right for me to be able to have maybe 100 of these ventures going on at a time. And I've got no skin in the game, but really what I'm amazing at is advertising and just advertising. Like maybe it's my destiny to sell fidget spinners, because for me, the advertising and the moving things around the internet and always learning new ways of doing this really makes my heart sing. But you only have so much energy in your life, and you need to really think about if the energy of being like a TikTok affiliate is worth the paycheck that you're getting, because this is all real energy. And you guys, I'm going to look you in the eye and tell you this right now. If you are planning on selling educational products, if you are planning on selling anything from your personal brand, you fucking side-eye the shit out of that affiliate income. Because if you start being a voice for other people's products, your voice might not matter so much when it comes time for you to sell your own thing. The people I know that take affiliate stuff really seriously, they're doing two things. They either have a big audience, they're getting a hell of a paycheck, and they're only representing brands that they really align with, or they have a separate account just for it. So I'm not the expert in talking about affiliate stuff, but you can find plenty of people that are. So that being said, you are about, I'd say, if you're doing fuckless, the offer is because you're doing the first official launch. The next one will be easier. It'll become more passive. I don't know. You maybe got a year and a half until you can do something like that. If that, and then the real problems start to show up. You're like, okay, I've solidified the business, but then there's all these other little pieces. But that's what you want. And you can now take to your journal all the time. If this is a reality for me, if I'm going to be moving to the country, what else is that saying about me? Do I want to have kids? If so, how much time do I have to allocate to my business? All of the other questions that come up, but your heart has plenty of answers for you. So thanks very much for being our case study on that. And to recap where we've been so far, we have asked our heart, what do I want? And we got an answer. You are under no obligation to like the answer that you have, but that's what it is. Now, pro tip, if you really want to get some teeth on this vision, you can imagine, and actually I'm going to take you off of mute again, Maya, because I think you'd be a good representation for this. Because you had a vision of yourself out there. But to make a wish from an esoteric perspective, and a wish is an actual function that you are able to do when you've established an I am force and an I can force. We'll talk about that another time. But making a wish is it's a sacred impulse that humans were given. It's an actual technology. It's not like, oh, close your eyes and really, hope this works. But it's an actual method. It's something that you can do consistently. So the trick to making a wish is seeing everybody else in the vision that is impacted by you getting what you want in this place. So when I see myself being Mrs. Bossy Pants, and I take the vision outside of me and outside of my POV and say, okay, well, who's in the auditorium? Who's in the auditorium? What happens to all these people? How do all these people benefit from me being there? Well, first of all, I made it really easy for them to get there. However it was, I gave them an offer they couldn't refuse. They weren't having to take a second mortgage out on their home to be able to attend this today. And what they are so excited to come in, because they know that they're going to leave with more power, not feeling empowered, and it's going to wear off and you say, oh my God, I was dancing to Pharrell in there. What the hell was going on? But they're leaving saying like, and the people that are there, they're dressed like them. They're dressed like them. There's something about the way that they came in. They didn't feel like they had to be different than who they were. There's something about the way that I teach them that lets them know that they can be exactly how they are, that that's the best way that they could possibly be. So it's a really eclectic group of people, but there's fucking tons of them. And they're going to leave with more power. They're going to leave knowing that they've changed something and that things will keep changing. It's not a high where they're going, what now? They're going to leave knowing that something has been shifted and that this is just the beginning of the snowball effect for them, that it's just going to get bigger and better and stronger as time goes on. So this is what they get from it. Now, Maya, this might be a tricky one for you because you see, and this happens to a lot of people are like, I see myself like curled up in my home, not talking to anyone, not doing anything, not ever seeing anybody else again. Well, your purpose, you came here to do something that serves all of humanity in some way, but there are so many ways to serve humanity. And when you realize this, you stop judging how other people live their lives and spend their money because it's improving at the way that they know how. You can't keep your house clean, so you don't know how the whole universe should run, but there's a balance to everything, and everyone came here with a purpose, and anyone that's succeeding is living their purpose in some way. You don't have to like it, but that is what it is. So Maya, when we close your eyes and see that initial vision of being relocated, for everybody else in the picture, for everybody else that could be impacted by this, who else can you see? Let's just start by, is there anyone else that we can see?
I see like my immediate surrounding, my friends.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like perhaps because they saw me do it.
Mm-hmm. And when it comes to the growth of your business that allows you to relocate comfortably in this way, how is everybody positively impacted by this growth of your business?
It's leading by example that you can indeed follow your passion and your joy and embody feminine flow and trust your intuition.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And
so
they're all learning that they can do it, that they can change it up, that they can move, that they can stabilize their income. Yes. So even if it seems like the most mundane, well, like obviously, if I do this, it would serve others. It's important to see the others in the vision. And that's how you understand that there's universal support there. And that's
yeah.
also how your content starts to change. We just posted about this recently, but like a lot of people will get stuck in the first layer of their vision. Me, 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 me. How does this impact me? What's in it for me? When you start thinking about what's in it for them, what problem is this solving for humanity? And we're not here, everybody's got a different idea. Like, homie, you couldn't fucking pay me to move to Mars. Are you kidding me? Why the fuck would I move to Mars? I like Earth. But Elon Musk believes that the greatest service he can provide to humanity is creating the possibility for us to become an interplanetary species. I'd say, homie, you want to go to Mars with all your friends? Sick. Awesome. Have a great time. So everybody has their own idea of how it is that they're improving, but nobody gets successful for a vision that serves them alone. You have to solve a problem for humanity. And the thing is that there's nobody that's buying your courses for whom you're not solving a problem. So as your business grows and changes and your offerings grow and change, you're solving problem after problem after problem for people. And it's all coming from the database of your life and your unique obstacles and your unique experiences. How hard was it for you in reality to leave the city? It seemed like a simple 1-2 when we were talking about it here, but all of these other things came up. And you're so grateful for these obstacles and you're so grateful for the trial and error because it showed you how much work it was going to take. And there's a shit ton of mistakes that you make that you hope other people don't make. And so you save them time by teaching them what to do and what not to do. And do you know what your human design is?
Yeah, I'm a 5-1 projector.
Okay, wonderful. So people are always looking to you anyway, like, you know how to fix this, right? And you're like, yeah, sure. Why are you talking to me? Why are you talking to me? And on the one side, you're like, I just need a little bit more research. My baby,
Yeah.
5-1, a 5-1 generator.
Uh,
But so many people looking to you saying, teach us, what do we do? And you're like, oh, I don't know. When I haven't been invited to share my opinion, it really goes sour. Well, now people are inviting you. Don't worry about fucking steamrolling them with information. They can handle it. And you're really telling people like, look, I've walked this path. Here's what I know what I know. I know what I know. You can argue with me all you want. You can argue with my fucking methods, baby, but you cannot argue with my results. I know what I know. And really giving yourself permission, looking at your history of all the times that you've been told to shut up, that it's too much, that your information hasn't been valued and respected, and being like, that was then, this is now. and my voice is meaningful and my message is meaningful and this is what the people need to hear. And understanding that as a projector, you're able to see the bottlenecks of energy all throughout humanity, where the generators and manifesting generators are just creating a big sloppy mess. And you're like, okay, all of you step away from the canvas, look at the big picture. You guys are doing bobo shit over there. We're going to be going this way now. And they really need that. Projectors guide the energy that generators and manifesting generators create. We need that guidance. We need you. We need your vision. Okay, great job. So that was what we covered there was question 1. Now, the other 2 are pretty simple, but this is you taking responsibility for what it is that you have been shown and what you're going to do about it. So if my vision is to pop off when I'm 50, the next question is, what is true? What is currently true? You guys want to know what's true about teachers? Teachers are so fucking old. They get so old so fast. And by old, to me, the definition of old is refusing to try new things. They go on TikTok. I don't want to be on TikTok. I don't want to be on TikTok. It's too hard. What? Make a short form video? Don't they know that I apprenticed with a teacher that nobody knows about for 10 years before I was even given one morsel of a mantra? Other people have to suffer like me. They don't want to stay relevant. They don't want to stay up to speed with what's going on. They're super resistant to adapting their message in any way. They get super stuck in a rut and they get really irritated with the entitlement that comes with every following generation. So every younger generation is always going to have a sense of entitlement, that it shouldn't have to be as hard or take as long as it took for the older generation. And you have to love this about consciousness. You have to understand that regardless of how you fucking feel about it, consciousness is always moving forward. Consciousness is always moving forward. And learning how to love that and adapt to that without being resentful that other people are going to learn faster than you. You have to be really adaptable. You have to be really agile. You have to love learning new things. You have to love it when your methods become outdated and be willing to adapt, because if you don't fucking do it, someone else is going to. So if I want my career to pop off, if I want all of this to just be the base camp for my career, and I want to pop off and pack out auditoriums in 13 years, I need to never get stuck in a fucking rut again. I need to love and embrace every opportunity to update my content, to make things shorter, to make things easier to understand. I need to never stop studying. I need to never stop studying. The second I've mastered something, it needs to go passive, and I need to step away from that so I can teach something new. I need to be like, look, I know you guys would love it if I came here and sang Hotel California every night, but I am not here to be a one-hit wonder. I have to constantly study, constantly adapt, and constantly move forward. And you know what else? My wardrobe's going to need some work. I need to put energy into my body. I need to be working out. I need to be bringing consciousness to my life in that way. There's a whole look, like guys, don't forget that at the same time Lady Gaga was coming up, Robin was coming up too. And she was really fucking talented and had a great album, but she didn't put half as much of the work in as Lady Gaga did. Lady Gaga's like, I don't care if I'm cringe. I don't care if people are like, she's wearing a meat dress. What's wrong with her? Robin didn't even want to learn dance moves. I just watched the music video for Dancing on My Own with my daughter yesterday. I said, Robin, cringe, my girl. Whoa. Lady Gaga says, I'm going to go hog and heifer. I'm going to go the whole way. I'm going to bring the outfit. I'm going to bring the songwriting. I'm going to bring the music. I'm going to dance, and I'm going to be a fucking presentation everywhere I go. Now we have Lady Gaga, and we have to remind people that Robin was a thing. Her album was super fucking good. So I know my daughter last night said, I love Lady Gaga. So there's plenty of people that are like, look, I just don't feel like I should have to dance because I'm an artist and my voice is enough. Well, or you could go really hard. I was just telling my husband yesterday, Glorilla, Cardi B, and Megan Thee Stallion. I love these rappers so much. I laugh my fucking butt off every time I'm listening to them. They genuinely seem to be having so much fun. They're all amazing dancers as well. And it's so refreshing to me because I used to get down with Nicki Minaj a little bit, but Nicki Minaj was always so serious, little too serious for me. These ladies seem to be having so much fun with it, but they're all complete packages. Like they really huge personalities, amazing dancers, amazing rappers, and able to poke fun of themselves as well. And then Doechii category, all her own, female Kendrick Lamar, fucking awesome. So but you're not there are no more laurels to cling to and rest on. Like consciousness is constantly moving forward. You need to adapt, you need to be able to change, and that is real, what never changes. So the core of who you are, the eternal pearl of consciousness within you, that's never going to change, but you need to be at least this is what I'm recognizing as an aspect of my own destiny. So what is true for you to do what you want? I'm going to look in the chat over here. For you to be able to do what it is that you want to do, what is true about where you are right now? What do you need to stop arguing with? What is true? So this person says, I'm lost. I saw jet skiing. What am I supposed to do with this? The same thing all of us are doing with our thing. Just because you're on a jet ski doesn't mean that your vision is like less legit than the person seeing themselves on the beach or in the valley. So what in your life are you doing that you're allowed to be on a jet ski? Are you a jet ski instructor? Are you Ricky Bobby? Like, what's your deal? Why are you on a jet ski? You have a responsibility to the vision that you see. Now, the same way that all of us are showing responsibility by saying, okay, this is what I'm seeing, and how do I add more to this? We're not dismissing anything that we see. You're not lost, you're just on a jet ski. But what are you doing that allows you to have a jet ski? Do you live by a place? So, yeah. So, what is true about where you are right now? I must interface fluidly with government agencies and raise my public profile. But you know what's so amazing, Sunny, is when you do this a little bit, the road rises to meet you so much. Like to me, it's so exciting that you're 5'1". So, oh, 5'1" like my baby, 5'1" generator like my baby. Oh, she's a manifesting generator. But so it's so exciting to me that you're in school because I'm like, man, you're already going the fucking distance. Like you're already going the fucking distance. Like the job offers have come, but the job that you actually take, or maybe it just ends up being one that you create for yourself so you can retain more control over it. Like that is super cool. Okay, it's true that music is my path. No, it's not true that music is your path. What do you want? You want music to be your path. Now, what's fucking true about being successful in music? Because there's a lot of cold hard facts that you need to face if you're doing something that is like very, very creative. Very, very creative means very, very lunar, very, very on the vision only you can see. It is your responsibility to translate the value of that vision to the people that cannot see it. No one is coming to save you. You are your own Kris Jenner. The more creative, if you are a jeweler, if you are a painter, if you are an actress, if you are a musician, you need to get so fucking good at strategically. There's creative side of your brain and the strategic side of your brain. There's the tie-dye and there's the chessboard. You, within you, have both. You need to get so at being able to translate your creativity into a value proposition for people that can't see inside of your head. So what is true about music? Music videos are still relevant. Music videos take production. Music videos take work. Music videos take outfits. But just because you may or may not have a record label does not mean that you get to skimp out on the music videos. So if you are responsible for your stage presence, how are you self-representing appropriately? How are you treating yourself like a record label would? How are you taking the smallest budget possible and turning out the most epic music videos that you can? If you are an actor, what's true? There's roles you want and roles you don't want. How are you constantly showing social media your ability to play the roles that you want? You have an infinite amount of 90-second, 60-second clips that you could show the internet saying, here's me doing this. I'm an actor, I'm an actor, I'm an actor, over and over and over again until it's impossible not to see you in these roles. If you are a model, who do you want to shoot you and for what campaigns? How are you showing the world that this is who you are and this is what you do and this is what you're really good at? There is so what's true, it can be hard to get discovered. You have to make yourself discoverable. You have to make yourself discoverable. I'm doing what's true. I'm doing too many things. Manifesting generator 2-4, not completing. If things in life are not adding up, start subtracting. What's true? There has to be a priority. What's true? There is value in showing up for something every single day. Make the commitment to show up for this project every single day, to do one thing for this project every single day. What's true? I need to get over my stage fright and being the center of attention. Okay, great. So go find a stage. What's true? It's hard to find a stage. I think I might be too strategic and that my vision is telling me to get to nature. Then go. What's true? There's nature I can get to every day. What's true? I can prioritize this. What's true? So, dang, I just made my profile private. Everybody should not. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about hurting anyone's feelings here. If you have any interest in selling your creative gifts for money at some point, then you better take your fucking profile off of private. If the truth of your life is that you don't want anyone to find you, then fine, you don't want anybody to find you. If you don't want anyone to find your work, fine, you don't want anyone to find your work. But fucking own it. Because if you do want people to find your work and you're making it impossible for people to find your work, that's what's going on. So what's true? So there's a big responsibility here. And this is something that I want you to just look at all the time. What's true? And then the final question, we've kind of talked about it here, but what are you going to do about it? So the commitment that I made was that I'm going to study every single day for 30 minutes, just like Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins reads 30 minutes every day. I'm going to show up. I'm going to read 30 minutes every day. That's what studying is to me. Studying is reading actual books, focusing my mind, taking away distractions, and reading an actual book for 30 minutes. This is where I've seen the best results for my life. Don't fucking knock it until you've tried it. And if you have lost the ability to read, this is a natural byproduct of consuming a lot of short form impressions. The attention span reduces. I can't smoke weed and read books either. My attention span for it's just not exciting enough for me. I fell asleep after reading for 5 minutes many, many times. You need to start with books that are easy for you to read. Here's some book recommendations. Any celebrity memoir, Demi Moore and Julia Fox are great ones to start with. Any celebrity memoir is going to teach you self-help that you didn't know you needed to know. It will be fun. You will finish it very quickly, but that's where I recommend everyone start if you haven't, if it's been hard for you to read. So what do I need to do about it? I need to study every single day. That's the most important thing that I can do. I need to think about the longevity of my practice and understand that setting things passive is a rite of passage, but that I constantly need to be teaching what it is that I know, what it is that I've just learned. Learn, teach, repeat. Always be sharing my cutting edge. Learn, teach, repeat, always. I need to always be learning. I need to always be teaching, and this cycle needs to never end. So you know what you want. You've established what's true. Tell me in the chat right now, what do you have to do about it? What do you have to do it? I'm going to put myself out there and find my opportunities to be seen. Go deeper. That's too vague. Where is out there? And what are people seeing of you? And if you're please let me know if you're a generator, manifesting generator, etc. Yes, learn, teach, repeat always. What did you learn here? Go teach it to somebody. Go teach it to somebody. So what we've established here, in a sense, is the vision, the mission, and the purpose. So we'll just use this analogy and then we'll close up here. So make sure my boob's not out. So your purpose is the metaphor of the North Star. So the purpose is, so my purpose, and this is a big one, but you can, as you start learning more about yourself, your purpose will become clearer. So when I first got into the vision of what it was that I wanted, I just saw that I wanted to go camping. At the time, I had a yoga teacher training and I was in nutrition school. I was not teaching anything about spirituality, but my purpose is to make things easy to understand. So when I learned, I really tried it with my cueing when I was teaching yoga to make these concepts easy to understand. When it came to nutrition, I wanted it to be easy to understand. My purpose is and now it's spiritual work. So my purpose is making spiritual work easy to understand. Now we're talking about probably 3 years from when I was asked the question of what do I want, that my purpose became clearer to me, but I found it on the way. So if you don't have it today, that's all right, but it will happen. But your purpose is the North Star, and your purpose is always comprised of like what it is that you've always been good at, what it is that you've always loved to do, and what the world needs. So it's always this combination, like something that you've always been good at. So I've always been a talker, always been a talker, love to talk to people. I've always been a writer. And what the world needs is somebody to make it simple for them, someone to make it speak a language that they understand, even if it takes a bajillion words, to make it easy for them to understand. Even if I'm repeating myself over and over until they get it, that's fine. But the purpose is like the North Star. So the North Star is always over you no matter what. The next thing is the vision. The vision is the top of the mountain that you want to go to. So what we all saw here, the vision in our heart, that's the vision. That's the top of the mountain. When you get to the top of this mountain, there's going to be another mountain. So for me, pop off at 50. For you, move to nature. For my friend, get a jet ski. Kate here says her vision was, I saw a bison. So if you asked your heart, what do I want? And your heart showed you a bison, and you have no idea what that means, but that's absolutely what you got, you can write it down in your journal. What does a bison represent to me? Or you can try it one more time, asking, what do I want? If you're like, I don't want to raise bison, I don't want to get into Native American ceremony and learn the value of the white buffalo, I just want to, or I might be taking you out of context completely. But if we've asked the question, what do I want? And the heart showed you a bison, then take it to your journal and talk about it until it makes sense to you. Or ask, what do I want? And get some, now that you know the technology. So the vision is what your heart showed you. The mission is the trail that we take to get to the top. Cool. So purpose, North Star above you. Vision, top of the mountain you want to go to. Mission was the answers to our question, what's true and what do I have to do about it? What's true and what do I have to do about it? That is the trail that we use to get to the top of the mountain. When we get to the top of the mountain, we look to the North Star, we find our next peak, and we do it all over again. So when I took responsibility for this, I said, okay, what do I want? I want to pop off when I'm 50. What do I need to do? I need to study every single day. These 3 questions that we went through today came from my first round of studying, which was reading the beginning of Ray Dalio's book, Principles. I love these questions so much that I decided to share them here with you today. Learn, teach, repeat. Mommy, I'm curious what your North Node is in astrology. I don't know. What did my camping image have to do with it? My camping image got me to leave my partner that was not right for me. Haha, I'm a 3-6. Haha, no, I'm not. I'm a 6-3. It's inevitable that you will pop off at 50. Yes, 6 lines pop off at 50, but it's making it to 50. That's key. So does anyone have any questions, quick questions to end here? On Monday, we have accountability call with Magic. So you guys all know what it is that you have to do. And you put some light commitments here today. You put some light in what my son calls light parenting. Light parenting, a kid that hasn't ever heard the word no. Sometimes he really behaves like that. You guys have put light commitments here today. I want to invite you to come to our call on Monday. I listen back to these calls if I can't attend. come to our call on Monday and put some fucking skin in the game. Make a commitment of what you're going to deliver for the week and show up for it. There's accountability. There's shit that you have to stick to. So I want to thank you all so much for being here today. And I will see you guys next Friday on Safehouse. We shared this masterclass with the whole audience, so you know what we're doing here in the interim at Safehouse. Once erotic wealth starts and autoerotic wealth, we are running these courses live. So once those workshops start, these will go on pause until our passive workshops are running again. But every time we set a workshop passive, it benefits the whole world. So I want to thank you all so much for being here today. Make sure you make good on your promises and come to the accountability call to make sure you have skin in the game. That's Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern with my husband, Machia. And I'll see you guys next week. Have a wonderful day. You incarnated as a human to do a thing. That thing is called your purpose. And once you have your purpose, life makes sense to you. Like there's a reason why you get out of bed in the morning. What life hands to you, you're able to eat, digest, and turn it into lessons, and turn it into money, and turn it into food. You came here with unique talents. These all make you really, really good at your purpose. But unfortunately, school doesn't teach you anything about purpose. That's why we unschool our kids. They don't teach you what you're really here to do in life. They're just like, learn a little bit of everything and maybe these things will make sense down the road. So definitely the question that we get most often is, how do I find my purpose? And just so you know, like this isn't something that you're meant to figure out overnight, but this will give you a really, really good head start. And you just have to follow the trail of breadcrumbs. So it's this concept, this Japanese concept of ikigai. So making 4 lists and then finding what's the same on all lists. What are you really good at? What are you really passionate about? What does the world need? And what can you be paid for? And then just go with the first next thing that makes sense. I started out as a yoga teacher. When yoga wasn't enough, I went into nutrition. When nutrition wasn't enough, my life hit the fan. I got into actual coaching. But you have to start following the breadcrumbs, and ideally you'll teach your kids, or they'll teach you what their purpose is really young. Thank you.